The migration of birds can be described as masterpieces of nature, showcasing the breathtaking beauty of the vast natural world. The sight of flocks of birds soaring across the sky, forming graceful V-shapes, not only captivates the eye, but also evokes a sense of harmony with the expansive environment. Migratory birds such as hummingbirds, swallows, and seagulls display vibrant plumage, exhibiting a rich diversity in colors and patterns. These brilliantly colored feathers not only attract mates, but also provide perfect camouflage in their habitats. One of the most remarkable aspects of migratory birds is their ability to fly. They can travel thousands of kilometers, enduring storms and harsh weather to seek shelter. Their skill in maneuvering through the air and gliding with the winds demonstrates their incredible strength and endurance. Each takeoff of birds like seagulls or cranes imparts a feeling of power, freedom, and vitality. The sounds that migratory birds produce also play a crucial role. Their calls echo in the open sky, with the melodies of chirping and calls between flocks serving as signs of life and the symphony of nature, bringing a sense of joy and tranquility. These sounds often make humans feel closer to nature, as if we are listening to the stories of life itself. The migration journey of these birds is not merely an adventure, but a symbol of resilience and perseverance. They move seasonally, traveling from cold regions to warmer areas, marking the changes of time and climate. The seasonal transformation of migratory birds, from their bright plumage during the breeding season to more subdued tones in winter, highlights the beauty of change. Additionally, migratory birds play a vital role in ecosystems. They help control insect populations, pollinate plants, and disperse seeds, contributing to the balance of nature. Thus, the beauty of migratory birds lies not only in their appearance and sounds, but also in the value they bring to their environments. Seagulls often migrate seasonally. They move away from breeding areas at the end of summer or the beginning of autumn and return in spring. This migratory journey can take from a few weeks to a few months, depending on weather conditions and the distance they must fly. In spring, seagulls return to breeding areas to reproduce. They look for familiar places to nest and begin a new breeding cycle. Seagulls typically breed on remote and isolated islands, such as the Crozet Islands, Kerguelen, and islands in the South Pacific. These are the places where they build nests and raise their young. The migratory journey of seagulls is a complex and impressive process, showcasing their excellent flying and navigation abilities. Seagulls can travel thousands of kilometers, sometimes up to 10,000 kilometers during migration. They often fly along very long routes, gliding with ocean winds to conserve energy. By utilizing these ocean winds, they can fly continuously with minimal flapping, which helps reduce energy expenditure. Their journey may include many long flights without stopping. They often fly in groups, which helps conserve energy and makes it easier to find food. Seagulls can locate warm air currents to soar higher, reducing drag and saving energy. They can remember migration routes and stopover points for finding food and water. Depending on weather conditions and terrain, they can fly at various altitudes. These strategies allow seagulls to migrate efficiently over very long distances. Their destination is warmer waters. Seagulls often move to warmer waters in the South Pacific or the Indian Ocean to seek richer food sources, such as fish and squid. The crane is one of the most prominent migratory bird species, known for its long and structured migration journey. This migration can last from a few weeks to several months, depending on weather conditions and food availability. Cranes typically breed in wetlands, marshes, and fields, where there is ample space to build nests and raise their young. Some well-known crane species can breed in North America, Europe, and Asia. Cranes begin their migration from breeding areas in North America and Europe around March to April, as the weather warms up and food sources become plentiful. They travel south from September to November in search of warmer, wintering grounds. The migration journey can span up to 4,800 kilometers, depending on the species and destination. Along the way, cranes stop at areas with food and water, such as fields, lakes, or marshes. These stops provide a place for them to rest and regain energy. Important stopover areas include regions like the Midwest of the United States, known for its grasslands and farmland. Cranes migrate to warmer regions, such as the southern United States, Mexico, or coastal areas of Europe and Asia, where the climate is mild and food sources are abundant for wintering. They usually migrate in groups, forming a V shape, which helps reduce wind resistance and conserve energy for those flying behind. Cranes often fly at high altitudes to take advantage of warm air currents, minimizing their load and saving energy. They are aware of important rest stops along their journey for food and water. Their excellent navigation skills rely on sunlight, stars, and terrain. Cranes can adjust their flying altitude based on weather and wind conditions, optimizing their flight paths. These strategies enable them to migrate effectively over long distances. Typically, cranes fly in flocks, forming a V formation, which reduces air resistance and conserves energy for the entire group. They can fly at altitudes ranging from 2,000 to 3,000 meters. Cranes have remarkable navigation abilities, using sunlight, the Earth's magnetic field, and terrain to guide them on their lengthy migration journeys. The swallow, particularly the barn swallow, Hirundo rustica, is one of the most prominent migratory bird species with a remarkable and lengthy journey. This migration typically occurs in two seasons, spring and autumn, reflecting seasonal changes in their habitats. Swallows begin their migration from wintering grounds in Africa and southern Europe around mid-March to April. This is when the weather warms up and food sources, primarily insects, become abundant. They return to their wintering areas between August and October, just before winter arrives. Migration journey. The migration can span between 10,000 kilometers to 15,000 kilometers, depending on the starting point and conditions, and usually last from a few weeks to a month, influenced by weather conditions and food availability. Swallows travel in flocks, flying low over the ground and often gliding over fields and bodies of water where insects are plentiful. Their agile and swift flight creates a beautiful spectacle in the sky. During their journey, swallows often stop at areas rich in food, such as lush green fields and regions with water. These stops allow them to rest and refuel before continuing their migration. Such stops are typically temporary, with swallows pausing for a few hours or a day to search for food. They migrate to breeding areas in Europe and North America, where the climate is temperate and food resources are plentiful for raising their young. The migration journey of swallows is not only a testament to their survival abilities, but also an integral part of the ecological cycle of nature. Their resilience and social behavior when migrating in flocks not only provide fascinating experiences, but also contribute significantly to the beautiful tapestry of wildlife. The ruby-throated hummingbird is one of the most notable migratory birds in North America, known for its impressive and challenging migration journey. These birds typically breed in the eastern and central parts of North America, from Canada to the southern United States, especially in areas rich in wildflowers. Spring migration. They begin their migration from the southern regions, Central America, around mid-March to April, when the weather starts to warm up and flowers begin to bloom. Autumn migration. In the fall, they move south between mid-August and October before winter sets in. Migration journey. Hummingbirds migrate independently, often flying between 3,200 to 4,800 kilometers to reach their wintering grounds. During their migration, they must cross the Gulf of Mexico, a challenging stretch of about 800 kilometers. This is one of the most difficult legs of their journey, as they cannot stop to rest or refuel during the flight. Throughout their journey, they stop at areas with abundant blooming flowers, where they can find rich sources of nectar to replenish their energy. Important stopover sites include flower gardens, wooded areas, and locations near water sources. Hummingbirds migrate to regions in southern Mexico and parts of Central America, where the climate is warm and food sources are plentiful. This migration can take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, depending on weather conditions and food availability. Hummingbirds have excellent navigation abilities, using factors such as sunlight, the Earth's magnetic field, and terrain features to guide them on their long journey. Fruit bats, also known as flying foxes, are a group of bats belonging to the family Pteropodidae, primarily found in tropical and subtropical regions. Their migratory journeys are generally shorter than those of many bird species, but they have interesting characteristics. They often move seasonally, mainly when food becomes scarce or during weather changes. Migration usually occurs at the end of the dry season or the beginning of the rainy season. Fruit bats typically inhabit tropical forests and areas near food sources like fruit trees. They roost or sleep in caves, tall trees, or dense vegetation. Their migration is often short, ranging from a few kilometers to several dozen kilometers, depending on food availability, and lasts from a few days to a few weeks, influenced by food conditions and weather. During migration, they frequently stop in areas with fruit trees or blooming flowers to search for food. Forests and orchards are crucial stopover points on their migratory paths. Fruit bats travel in large groups, usually flying at night to forage. They can locate food sources using their keen sense of smell and eyesight. Their strong navigational abilities are aided by their acute sense of smell and environmental awareness. The migratory patterns of fruit bats reflect their adaptation to their habitats and changing food resources. They play a vital role in pollination and seed dispersal, contributing to the maintenance of biodiversity within ecosystems. Migratory birds play an important role in the ecosystem. They help control insect populations, pollinate plants, and disperse seeds, contributing to the balance of nature. Therefore, the beauty of migratory birds lies not only in their appearance and sounds, but also in the value they bring to their habitats.